The open trot is wide open tonight, but there is at least one horse who is a giant. International Trot winner Giant Force, who hopes to give Per Eriksson another Breeders' Crown title. Tonight, the Cadillac Breeders' Crown goes north of the border for the season premiere of harness racing's Ultimate Challenge. We're in Cambellville, Ontario, 25 miles west of Toronto, and tonight at Mohawk Raceway, the open trotters and pacers battle it out with 4 champions to be crowned and $1.4 million up for grabs. There's no dome at this racetrack, but they really don't need one tonight. It is a magnificent autumn evening, temperature expected to be in the 50s. The open trot, last year's winner was No Sex Please. And right now, let's take a look at the complete field for tonight and the opening odds. Number 1 is Fax Machine at 5-1. 2, Charlie 10 Hitch at 8-1 with Doug Brown. Royal Ballad at 10-1. Swagger Hanover at 20. Get Hooked 8-1 with Ron Waples. Recourse is number 6 with John Campbell at 20-1. Super Cobra a long shot at 30. Giant Force 4-1. Earl 8-5. And Baltic Achiever 20-1. You know, there's no doubt that one of the keys to the race is the start, and that means getting out of the gate swiftly. Now, in harness racing, they use a moving car, which gets the trotters and pacers moving swiftly and evenly. Our colleague Brad Diamond has more on the starting gate, a key element in harness racing.
You're looking at a Brome Cadillac, but this is not the kind of car you're going to find in your neighborhood. I am sitting right now in the official starting car at Pompano Park, and with me is our official starter, Dan Kuhn. And Dan, tell me about this car, because you're the starter, but it takes 2 men to run this, and tell me about it.
Yeah, I think basically I have the easy part. I operate the speed of the car, and I operate the function of the wings, decide whether or not we have a recall, and try and give everybody as fair a start as we can. But I think a lot of the responsibility falls on my driver, Tom Wells.
Now, you've got complete control here with your throttle of this car.
Yeah, I regulate the speed of the car with my right hand, and then I can operate the wings with my left hand, and then I can keep in contact verbally with the horseman through this small PA system. And when we're on the home stretch here, just picking the horses up, the fans might be able to hear my voice, but mostly it's directed just towards the horseman.
What's your fastest speed? What's your top speed when you let those horses go?
Well, that depends on the field, but plus or minus 2-3 miles an hour, we're at 30 to 35, depending on how fast I got to go to get out of their way.
Races can be won or lost right here at the gate. What's your biggest concern?
Well, we'd like to have them all reasonably close to the gate. You want everybody to have a fair start and a fast start and a very competitive first quarter, and who knows, you might see some real fast first quarters.
You know, Gary, I've never seen you in one of those cars.
What's that, a starting gate or a Cadillac?
Neither.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have been in Dan Kuhn's starting car, and it's quite a view of the race, believe me when I tell you that.
You look a lot better in a Cadillac. Now, this particular race we're looking at, the open trot, the last couple of years, it's been a Canadian-sired horse who has won, and this year the favorite, once again, is from Canada. The name is Earl.
Well, in 1993, Bruce, he's raced like the Duke of Earl. I don't think anything can stop him now. He's won 4 of his last 5, and he is the Mohawk track record holder here with a mark of 155.
Let's take a look at Earl in action just a week ago right here at Mohawk Raceway.
He was absolutely superb there. He was on the front end for driver Chris Cristoforo Jr. And Giant Force on the outside's about 3rd or 4th right now, trying to close in. And as they move down to mid-stretch, driver checks the field behind him. He's got 2 on the rest of the field and is just cruising to the finish. Giant Force on the outside is making a late rush, but it's going to be way too late as Earl is very strong to the finish.
Earl has won 10 of 16 on the season, 4 of his last 5. He's earned $293,000 by winning the American National and the Provenzano. But he's hooking up with a giant tonight. That's Giant Force.
Giant Force, winner of the Nat Ray and the Yonkers International Trot. And an interesting thing about these 2 horses is their contrasting racing styles. Earl likes his action up front, preferably on the front end. Giant Force, the kind of horse that can take a lot of air, race a long ways on the outside, and likes to come from off the pace.
Giant Force has won all the big races this year. You know, he's kind of like Dave Stewart, big in the postseason. This horse has won 2 huge races, hence his earnings are almost double to anyone else in the field. And you can see that Giant Force is only 1 to 3 in head-to-head events against Earl.
I don't think he has the Dave Stewart stare, though, which they talk about so much.
The open trot, very talented once again, but Earl could go head-to-head with Giant Force. We're getting set for the 6th race, which is the 3rd race on our program tonight. The open trot, the Mohawk track record held by Earl, 155. Here's a look at the current odds. Get Hooked is 5-1. Royal Ballad is 8-1. 6-1 on Giant Force. Earl, the public choice, at 3-5.
And Bruce, the biggest Breeders' Crown field of the night, so early positioning here will be very important.
World record held by Mac Lobel, 154-4, and as we mentioned, the Mohawk track record held by Earl, 155. This is the open trot, $396,810. Here's track announcer Frank Salee.
There they go. They're off and trotting. Charlie 10 Hitch is first away. Fax Machine is out fast to the inside, and the 3 on the far outside are also going to leave alertly. Here comes Recourse, Super Cobra, the far outside for Giant Force, and Earl is following up along the inside, followed by Royal Ballad in 7th, charging into the first turn. Now along the inside to gain some positions towards the leaders. There goes Baltic Achiever, and the early trailers, Swagger Hanover, further back to Super Cobra now, and after a break in the first turn, Get Hooked is trailing in 10th. There's the quarter in 28 seconds flat. Fax Machine is on the lead, and here comes Earl up and driving in the second quarter. Fax Machine on the inside, Earl on the outside, looking to go on after the lead, and will get there at the paddock turn. Fax Machine back in second. Charlie 10 Hitch is third. Recourse is fourth on the outside, and his cover is taken by Royal Ballad in second over into the flow, and racing 6th up the inside now is Baltic Achiever. Then Super Cobra has gained 7th. Giant Force is well back 8th on the outside. Swagger Hanover is 9th. Get Hooked is 10th. The half in 57-3. And Earl trotting comfortably on top by 2 lengths into the final 3/8 of the mile. Fax Machine is in second. Recourse has been laboring first over. Royal Ballad is going 3 wide in the backstretch. Charlie 10 Hitch is back in 5th. The outside 6 for Giant Force now. Baltic Achiever is 7th. Swagger Hanover is 8th. Super Cobra 9th. Get Hooked is 10th. Earl on the lead. Royal Ballad has gained second. Fax Machine is back in third. Charlie 10 Hitch is off stride from 4th. 3/4, 127-1. Earl is at the top of the stretch. The Cadillac Breeders' Crown awaits him in less than 1/8 of a mile. Royal Ballad has gone a big mile and is second. Earl, Royal Ballad, Fax Machine out in the middle is Giant Force. Earl and Royal Ballad. Earl wins the Cadillac Breeders' Crown in 156 flat. Royal Ballad was second, and Giant Force was third. Well, I see.
So the track record holder, Earl, victorious in the open trot of the Cadillac Breeders' Crown. Time of the mile, 156 flat.
And a great effort by Earl. Giant Force way back here, of course, post 8, a very difficult post for him. He is not a leaver and didn't leave, and found himself pretty far back as they turned for home. Couldn't make up the ground.
Chris Christoforou, the winning driver, and a terrific performance for him in his first Breeders' Crown. We'll be back. And there's a look at the winner's circle. The victor, Earl, the son of Balanced Image, out of the Dream of Glory mare, Linfield's Gem. And driven to victory by Chris Christoforou. Here's the winning prices: $310, $260, and $220. Royal Ballad second, $430 and $280. Giant Force finished third, $2.50. Time of the mile, 156 flat. Owned by Banjo Farms and Chris Christoforou. And there's the victor, Earl, winning tonight's open trot.